So today our fifth lecture about metabolism, enzymes, cellular respiration, and photosynthesis. This is our learning objectives. So we will start with metabolism and enzymatic control. Metabolism is a sum of all chemical reactions in the cell of all living organisms. When cells use nutrients molecules to make their part and other product, cells carry out sequence of chemical reactions. The chemical reactions in cells have a special name, metabolism. Meta means change, like metamorphosis. And in the table in here, we can see that when we eat different type of the food, nutrients, like for example, eggs and meat, they made up of mostly proteins, particularly from the proteins, these biomolecules. And proteins in our body, in our cells, break down during chemical reactions, metabolism, to the smaller units, amino acids. When we eat vegetable oil, bacon, and butter, in our body, in our cells, these nutrients will be breaking down to the smaller units. So mostly they made up of the biomolecule lipids or fats. So the building blocks will be glycerol and fatty acids. When we're eating pasta, cereal, bread, and starchy vegetables such as potato, in our body, again, they will be break down from the large units, large biomolecules such as carbohydrates, to the small units, building block of them, monosaccharides, glucose, fructose, etc. And when we're eating wild caught fish, liver, beans, and mushrooms, they are rich in the nucleic acids, and in our body they will be break down to the building block nucleotides. So overall, during metabolism, all cells of the living organism will first break down food molecules, nutrients, into the smaller units, and in the same time, these small units will be used to the second type of the chemical reactions, which call synthesis or building of the new chain of the units, and this will be built to make these special living organisms, they biomolecules, something special for them. During metabolism, two different main chemical reactions occur. First type, catabolic chemical reaction, and second type, anabolic chemical reactions. Metabolic chemical reactions divided on the two types, catabolic and anabolic. Catabolic reaction are chemical reactions that result in breakdown of the complex molecule into the simple substances. Catabolic reaction produces and releases energy because during breakdown of the complex molecules, chemical bonds between the atoms will be broken. Anabolic chemical reactions are chemical reaction of synthesis or building of the complex molecules from the simple one. And energy usually used and required during anabolic reaction. If you look down on this different diagram, we have two diagrams, one on the left and one on the right. So when we're looking on this diagram, this is example of the catabolic reaction. So we will see, for example, this is a complex molecule. It's made up of the several atoms in here, several atoms, and they connected between each other. This is chemical bonds between these atoms. So this is complex biomolecule. For example, this is a protein. And during catabolic chemical reactions, chemical bonds will be broken between these atoms, and separate atoms will be released. In this case, proteins made up of the amino acids, so amino acids in here release. But energy, when we're breaking down this is connection between atoms, what will happen, energy will be produced and released. And this is what happening during breakdown of the food, for example, any nutrients. On the other hand, on the right, on the diagram, we have example of the anabolic reaction or anabolism happening. So what happening? It's when our cells from the simple separate molecules, for example, this is amino acids, each of them, and our body, our cells, connecting, building new complex biomolecules. For example, in this case, protein from this amino acids is built. And because we need to produce these connections, new connections between these amino acids, between atoms in them. So what's happening? We need energy to produce this connection. So energy is used in the anabolic reaction. So again, anabolic reaction is synthesis of the new complex biomolecule from the simple one, and energy is needed for this process.